Right, so I want to talk about Chainlink here and explain why I'm looking for a long trade at around $7 and change, 725 to be more precise. There's just a ton of support in this region that we're going to go over in this video. And also, I'm just wanting to be positioned bullishly on Chainlink in general. Looking for longs in this latest uptrend. And then they've recently launched CCIP, which is, in my opinion, very, very bullish. So, for one, let's actually get rid of this. And I'm not a big volume profile person, but I know a lot of people love volume profile. But in this case, Chainlink has put in such an absurd amount of volume in this area that I actually think that it's pretty useful here. So pretty much no matter how we draw our fixed range volume profile here, we get this level coming in. Let's call it 716. But even if we drag our volume profile all the way back to include the high here, right? Your volume, your point of control comes in not far off, right? Not far off. We can drag this all the way back to just a random point here. And again, we're getting our fixed range volume profile, or our point of control coming in roughly $7. And that's just because the sheer amount of volume that's been put in at this $7 level is staggering in comparison. It's been over a year-long range. We can keep dragging this back further back, and 730 comes in. So we just have an insane amount of volume at this level that makes this a very interesting point of control. So all of those levels, regardless of how we drew that, and we can just actually try to capture the range to get a more accurate level. But no matter how we draw it, it's going to come out to roughly $7 to $7.30. So that's obviously a range that I want to be keeping in mind for a bounce, right? So in my opinion, that's honestly the way I trade. One of the least compelling pieces of evidence for a bounce at 7 and change. But I still think it's pretty strong. Then we're just going to quarter up our range. So just capturing the entire range here from our $9.66 high all the way down to our most recent swing low. And that's going to give us a really nice midpoint of our entire range here at, let's call it $7.18, right? Then we're going to quarter up our range, our most recent, it's a little bit better here. Our most recent swing high to most recent swing low. And that's going to give you some initial support here that we're already finding some support at around $7.55. And that's also going to put your midpoint on this interesting SR level of around 658. So not super compelling, but just levels to keep in mind. Not super compelling in the sense that we're looking for 715 or so, just above 7. But then we're also going to throw on our margin pressure levels. And this is where it gets interesting. So off of our range high, our margin pressure levels, we get our 3x short margin pressure level at $7.15. So what that essentially means is if you're trying to keep your liquidation point above the range high, which many traders are, you can no longer short on 3x leverage. You can no longer enter a 3x leveraged short position on isolated margin and maintain a liquidation point above this local high, right? Or the range high of 954. Right, we move our margin pressure levels over a notch as well. And we're going to get our 5x short margin pressure level at roughly $7.05. So again, lots and lots of support in here around 7 to 730. Right, so let's remove that. And what that just essentially means is the same thing. Those 5x shorts, and we really get a nice strip here between 677 and 705. But there's going to be fewer shorts entering the market here because there's going to be less incentive to short the market because you can no longer not to short the market, but to short Chainlink because you can no longer hide your liquidation point above that swing high. Right, then we can calculate where the incentives for our longs to come in and push the market back up. And again, $7.14. So if you're looking for a super clean level, I'd just be bidding 715. I'm personally bidding slightly above that and just making sure I keep a stop loss below the trend line. So what this essentially means, these margin pressure levels on the long side, is that if you're looking to go long, as soon as price drops to 714 or slightly below it, you can start going long on 3x long leverage and maintain your liquidation point below this most recent swing low, which is also a pretty strong chance that this is our bear market low, given Chainlink's price action and the recent fundamental developments, right? So when you take all of that into account, right, and then you just layer in a super basic trend line here, right? And I know trend lines can be pretty subjective, but there's a decent chance that over the next couple of days, we're on the daily chart here, the next 2 or 3 days, we come down to test this trend line and this, $7 and 7 to 730 range. And that's where I want to be bidding. This was prior resistance. We broke through. Now we're just looking to back test and move up higher. Now my price target is the top of the range, which is going to be roughly $9.50. Right. And I do think Chainlink can move above that, but for the sake of this trade, we're just looking to enter at around. I'm gonna front run it a little bit at 725. Don't normally do that. I would more ideally be looking to buy bid at 715, but I'm gonna be using a little bit lower leverage. Right, I'm not trying to snipe this. I'm just trying to buy this as a zone, and we're targeting the top of the range here, which is going to give us pretty solid risk reward. I'll keep my stop loss probably a little bit wider. Maybe just 15-20 cents below $7. So that's why I'm looking for this trade. We'll see if it works out. Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, we have a very clean and clear invalidation point. We'll just cut, and there's actually levels down here that we'd potentially be looking to bid at around $6 or so, and that's fine. We could just trade, we could very likely make our losses back and then some, trading the $6 to $7 range, which has been a really solid trade right here for the majority of this range for Chainlink. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, like and subscribe. Follow on Twitter. If you want access to these indicators, head over to Sistine.ai. And if you want to join the Research Hub, where we identify asymmetric risk-reward opportunities in the crypto market, present them to you, just send them to your inbox. Go check that out. We recently had a nice 4x on GenieBot, which is a pretty low cap coin. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.